Hello, welcome back to Move Ahead with Dalia. Have you heard of Las Damas de Belmont Cragin? Well, on today's show, I have Diana Mireles. She is the founder and board president of Las Damas, and Linda Peters, the treasurer. Welcome, ladies, to the show.
Thank you for having us.
Of course.
Thank you, Dalia, for having us.
Thank you. Thank you for being here. So, Diana, let's talk about Las Damas. What would you like to share about it?
Well, there's so much, but I guess I'd like people to know that Las Damas was grown organically here in Belmont Cragin. Quite accidentally, I met women in different areas of the community that were doing small things, right? Just doing what they love to do, volunteering at the park or working at the school as a volunteer. In different places, right? Food pantries and whatnot. And we all came together at various times for different reasons, right? I found somebody at the park who was in need of food and so forth, to direct them over to my friend Audi at Emmanuel Church, right? Little things like that began to happen, and we started to notice that it was Diana Zapata at Blackhawk Park with me. She was a treasurer. I was a member at that time. I later became the president. And I got to know her, and oh, by the way, she worked over at Lloyd School. And through that, I met Sonia Cordero over there, who was volunteering at the school. And so forth. You know, it was just connecting all these women in different little places, right? Doing things. And we all went along for a little while, never really registering how we were starting to network and starting to like listen to people who came to us. It happens so gradually, right? You never notice that people are starting now to say, "Oh, I need such and such. I'm going to go ask someone who always seems to know."
Yeah.
And that would be me or Diana.
You had all the resources.
Right.
Yeah.
And eventually, you know, after a little time of that, we found out something called a participatory budget that involved something that the 36th Ward Alderman Villegas was doing that allows you to specify where you want to make improvement in the community.
Okay.
Right? They're given $1 million to, you know, improve infrastructure.
Right.
And this program allows the community to say where they need that infrastructure repaired, right? Villegas was always engaged in that program. So that gave us a whole new view of Belmont Cragin.
Okay.
And that network is what helped us when we decided to go for the participatory budget, right? We were going to start to participate. We decided, wow, we got our stuff on the ballot, right? We can fix the sidewalk outside the tennis court now at Blackhawk Park as long as we can get the votes.
Yeah.
That network proved strong.
Nice.
And we went to women that we were right alongside, never registering that we had built a network, going to them and saying, "Here's what I'm doing, can you help?" And that's how Las Damas, in a nutshell, began.
Like you said, organically.
Yeah, or very organically.
Yeah,
and
that's
when
wonderful.
people would ask, I would have different people ask, you know, "What is Las Damas?" And I guess I had heard this. Actually, my daughter had told me, "Tell them you're ladies who lunch." Right? It sounds very leisure, right?
Yes.
And but think about it, right? We are working women. We're all, you know, living here in Belmont Cragin, not Lincoln Park.
Right.
And yet to call us ourselves, when I could say we're ladies who lunch to various people who asked who we were, I felt like we were empowered. We're not rich. We're not sitting, you know, at the top of the world, but we have every right and every ability to use what we have for the betterment, just like women of leisure do, you know, or did way back, you know, in the turn of the century when women worked and volunteer things and had their little societies.
Right.
And I felt that we were just as worthy of that recognition as well. And so that's how I.
That's how it began.
That's how it began.
That's beautiful. I love it.
Diana Zapata actually gave us the name because when we decided in 2020, wow, we're really doing something. People are always asking, what are we going to call ourselves? And Diana Zapata said, let's call ourselves Las Damas de Belmont Cragin. And there we were. That was us.
That's beautiful. I love it. So what is the mission?
So the mission is what we'd like to think of threefold, right? The mission is to first uplift our children, right? The kids in our community.
Yes.
They are precious.
Yes.
Right? And Belmont Cragin has a huge population of youth.
Yes.
Right? So our mission in that respect is to increase literacy, right? To increase literacy is to allow a child to be able to read and just leave Belmont Cragin mentally and explore the world, explore space. There's books on all kinds of things.
Absolutely.
And children would be able to, as long as they could read, be able to experience those things, right? Even if vicariously, they would still be able to engage. Mm-hmm. And the ability to read well, it opens the doors for learning and better engagement, in a classroom.
Yes.
But also it had, I'm very passionate about the reading, okay?
Good.
So when I began, we decided, okay, we're going to put up little libraries in the community so books will be accessible.
Good.
And so we decided to build little libraries and plant them and then put books in them. As I was over at Lloyd School, that's a great place, awesome principal. I got to plug Mr. Salgado, he's my favorite.
Okay.
I got to observe a little more and notice that the children, there were special classes for bilingual and sometimes they're a little bit behind. And I thought about that and I thought, oh my gosh, it's got to be hard for them to learn a whole new language plus their lessons.
Yeah.
So how could, I'm going to go out and I'm going to start talking to parents and tell them, let the kids learn English. Well, that was my idea, but with the feedback I got from parents, which I greatly appreciated, was that they really wanted their children to know the language and the culture.
Yes.
It was super important to them.
Yes.
So much so that they were willing to stress that and then take care of the school stuff as it came, right?
I see.
And I thought, wait, we've got all these little libraries out here. Let's do bilingual books. Well, enter Nina Sanchez from 51st Ward Books. I don't know if you've ever heard of her nonprofit. Amazing. I got in contact with her, and she vets our books for us. So I can tell Nina, I want beautifully illustrated, durable, interesting, bilingual books for children of certain ages. And she will go through the books that she has or that she goes to purchase with those targets in mind.
That's
specifically wonderful. For our community.
Yeah.
So Little Libraries was part of that mission and to supplement that Little Library, we did story time. Okay. So our volunteers, our ladies, would go and read stories in Spanish to children at a story time. And in addition to that, we would do an arts and crafts whenever possible based on what the story they were doing, the story they were reading.
Right.
So they connected.
That's wonderful.
It was fun.
So that was part of the literacy portion, right?
Yes.
Of Las Damas.
There's one more part, though.
Okay.
So the final part was during the pandemic, and everybody went remote, and we found out just how under-resourced we were in the community, right? The Chicago Public Schools, gave laptops out, right? And I had access to some of those, and we took those laptops, included printers, and purchased learning aids. So we had bilingual sidecards for preschoolers and kindergartners, all the way up to, you know, multiplication tables and division, addition and subtraction for the higher grades, because, you know, math is just as important. Right, they're the basics,
So
math,
important.
reading, stuff. Yeah. Right. So there's that program. We also did a tutoring program. For 5 weeks, we had a couple of children enroll in that tutoring program. One of my best memories of that. And then we moved on to, I'm sorry, I'm going to the next step of the work we do, which would be empowering women in our community, right? So the empowering women also happened quite naturally, right? I think we were speaking earlier, and I said, you know, we think we don't make an impact on other people's lives, right? But we do. People around us, you know, we don't know everything about them. But I've found that if you'll listen and take the time to develop a relationship, you'll be able to anticipate or at least be knowledgeable of the things that your neighbor or even your family might be in need of. You know, that's not directly expressed. So while we were learning on looking into things on what resources do we have in our community, Las Damas doesn't have any money, right? We are not a nonprofit at this moment, but working towards that. So what we did was we looked in our community and found all the nonprofits and the programs they had going, and we started a Facebook page, and we would scour our elected officials, our local Facebook page, you know, for our community, and just public libraries and all kinds of places, and we would list all those resources on our Facebook page.
Nice.
So it removed all the, you know, hey, I lost my dog or something like that, to just strictly resources that people could search through. And I'm still very proud of that.
And that one is Las Damas on Facebook?
Yes.
Okay, wonderful.
Yes. So in that area, you know, empowering women, we uplifted ourselves in some areas. We had a woman go back to school, and she's working on getting her bachelor's. Another one's getting her associate's. And another one got her citizenship. Another one got her new car and learned to drive. And so what started inside ourselves actually began to start to pour out, right? When you fill a glass, when it can take no more water, it just starts to overflow, right? And so we started to affect the women around us, and we started to promote, you know, the domestic violence issues, safety issues in the community, right? Because if we can't be safe in our own community, then, you know, we really can't live life to our full potential.
Absolutely. Well, there's a lot you've been involved in, clearly.
Yes. And then the final one is, I guess, that we lead off to being safe in the community. The third mission inside of our group is to uplift Belmont Cragin and women businesses. And we do that by getting to know our businesses, having relationships with them, patronizing that. Yeah, I'm sorry. Patronizing, is that the proper?
Yeah.
Yeah. To visit their businesses, their establishments, and hold affairs there, you know, events.
Right.
And just recently there's a new toy store in the area, and I know that the 30th Ward does a toy giveaway or something. So I've taken the time to connect that business with that alderwoman,
nice.
So that maybe they can figure something out coming towards Christmas, right?
Yes.
And it's little things like that, but it has helped. We've used the participatory budget to improve our community. As I told you, I mentioned that earlier. Anyone in Belmont Cragin, if you hear of a participatory budget, get to your alderman's office and find out what's it about and participate. We paved streets, we paved sidewalks, it helped us get enough attention to get a $3.1 million in TIF money for the Fieldhouse renovation at Blackhawk Park.
Oh, wow.
So, yeah, it's just doing what needs to be done, right?
Right,
And it's
being
doing
involved.
it together. Yeah.
Being involved, using the resources that are there already.
Right.
Right? And that's wonderful. Congratulations.
It's a group of women who are just wonderful people, and there's a lot more out there. We just haven't met them yet.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. Let's talk a little bit more about the programs that you've been involved in. And Linda, why don't you break down some of the program details?
Well, I'm brand new. I just came in December as a board member, so I'm learning as well. Well, thank you. And Diana, do you want to talk about a little bit more about the 311 walk?
Oh yeah, sure.
And the 911 day of service? Okay.
Right. So again, just using what we have, what's at our fingertips, right? And uplifting our community, right? That's our goal. So along with the participatory budget, which is a freebie, the city's going to pay for that because that's menu money. We started to look at, wow, this is real shabby. I was walking down my own street and the trees were hitting me on the top of the head. I'm only 5'4", and I thought, yeah, they're overgrown and we need to get them cut. So we decided to use the Shy 311 app and just max it out, right? So we got our group together and we formed teams and we did a 10-block grid, right? So teams of 2 going down 5 streets going north and south, and the other teams of 2 going down 5 streets east and west. Okay. So we had ourselves a nice little perfect square, right? Nice little area, and the teams walked down and said, graffiti here, need a street sign, potholes here.
Oh, that's such a great idea.
Yeah, trim the trees. These lights need to be replaced. And then we took all of those things out of that area, and we took them over to the alderman's office. That was the 36th ward at that time, Villegas again, and he did us the courtesy of expediting them, and in a matter of weeks, that 10-block grid we did looked like a brand new area. It was refreshed.
Really?
Yeah. It's like when you go to your house and say,
Very
I'm going to do the
cool.
kitchen over, Well, we just did a whole 10-block grid over. So that was really exciting. We used that. And then building on that, right, in September, there's a National Day of Service, 9/11 National Day of Service to commemorate the Twin Towers, right? And so it's a day of service, and I thought, well, that's really cool. And I don't know anybody that's doing that, right? Why don't we try to make that a thing in Belmont Cragin? Wouldn't it be great? Because what we do, our group does, along with the Community Development Corporation, the CDC, right. They have a group called the Corridor Ambassadors. They're on the business corridors, really great group. So we asked them to come on over and help us do the Armitage Business Corridor from Laramie to Cicero to do a cleanup. The first year it was Las Damas and the Corridor Ambassadors, right? And I think my neighbor and 2 of his children, right? And this year, when we went out, or rather last year, because it was in September, we had more neighbors, we had more ambassadors with us, even more damas showed up because now they were bringing their teens, Yeah. Come on, we're gonna do this.
Yeah. Good. Family event.
And we went down the street and we did all of that, and we knocked. We entered businesses, said hello, introduced ourselves, and told them what we were doing. La Paz Restaurant right there on Armitage and Grand, they were the first ones to actually say, hey, that's really cool, that's nice. Why don't you guys come in, we'll have some refreshments for you.
Aww.
Something cold to drink, right? And take a load off your feet for a few minutes.
That's so sweet.
And we took advantage of it. It was a really nice thing for us. And it made us feel appreciated, right, while we were out there. Yeah. So we hope to continue, well, obviously not hope to, but we hope to make it a thing in Belmont Cragin, where other groups of people are out there making improvements in the community, serving the community on that day.
Yeah, and I could see that because, consistency in something always helps things grow more. Yeah. And in the case of you already did 2 years,
No,
right?
three.
3 years, right? So every year, more people are going to be putting that in their calendar and promote. If the more you promote it,
You know, our businesses are great, right? They're family owned, and when we have businesses in our community, we're keeping people employed in our community.
That's right.
Right? And
Yes.
and I have to say this because this is what like really made me passionate about this aspect of what we do. Little Village brings in more money annually. The what do you call it? The revenue, right? Than does the Magnificent Mile.
I did not know that.
Yeah, I didn't either when I heard that. I was like, I grew up in Little Village. You know?
Wow.
I have family still there, and they make more money on their business corridor than, State Street or any place down there in downtown on Mag Mile. And I was really impressed, and I thought, if they can do that, we should be doing that, right?
Yes,
We should really be support your local business, and show up, show up there because they appreciate you.
Yeah, that's what's so important about the CDC organization, right? How much support they're bringing to those businesses.
Yeah.
But organizations like Las Damas, which is, like you mentioned, organic, grassroots, and everybody's going to get to know each other, that relationship, right?
Yes, we do. I'm going to say just for a moment that, we are not all work and no play because because all our women are volunteers. No one's getting paid. Every penny we collect goes right back into the community. I mean, there are times when they say, take it out of the funds there or this little kitty of funds we have here. Right. No, I won't. We are going to need that for something later. But we want to... I'm sorry, I lost.
Oh, no,
That's
it's fine. But I do want to mention what you said about you've already applied for the 501c so that this can be a nonprofit by the end of the year.
Absolutely.
And from there, I would love to talk about that fundraiser.
But first, I want to talk about the toy drive because that's a really unique.
Let's hear the toy drive.
How you did because I wasn't in the group last year when they did the toy drive.
Okay.
It was very unique how you did it. So with the partnership with Emmanuel.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we partnered up with Emmanuel Church for a toy drive. The ladies insisted, right? They were like, we got to do this. So the space was available for us. It's a great space. And we have one member who is a photographer. Her name is Natalie Garcia Perez.
It's a business. She has her own photography business. Okay. Yeah.
And she said, Diana, I'd like to offer holiday portraits, family portraits, to the community in exchange for a toy. And I thought, that's going to be really good. And so the girls got together. They built the backdrop. The theme was a winter wonderland, right? And we put a minimum on the toy because we wanted the toy to be something that you'd like to give your own child, right?
Right.
And the recipients were all children who were registered at Emmanuel's Food Bank to receive a toy, right? Okay. So we knew that the toys were actually going to where it's needed, right? And we knew that the toys were going to be a quality. And Natalie does amazing work, so we knew the portraits were going to be quality as well. Yeah. So we set that up, and that came into fruition, and it was our first year, and we collected 60 beautiful toys for that to donate to the food pantry's toy drive.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
All those families got a beautiful professional portrait to use on their Christmas cards and you hang up in their living rooms, and those are worth at least $100. Those kind of portraits.
Oh gosh,
if you go to
our backdrop was
exactly. So just you're paying with a toy, right? That's going to be given to a child in the community. So I thought that was such a great win-win-win.
It was. We were enriched ourselves.
And
just
so innovative the way you did that.
Well, I commend Natalie and Esther and Lorena for that. They did an awesome job. And then all the rest of our ladies showed up. as the welcoming committee, and
Aw.
they received the gifts and so forth. So it was really nice.
What
It was
a wonderful
really, really
idea.
nice.
I know, I love that.
Yes.
So
The fundraiser, should I start talking about the fundraiser?
I'd love to
Okay.
hear about it.
So, Las Damas was founded and established 6 years ago, so in 2018, right? So, Las Damas has never had a fundraiser before. Never.
Okay.
They've always worked in partnership and helped other people raise money,
Right.
like the Chicago Park District Foundation.
Yes, we did
helped
that.
helped raise money, right? Helped did the census, went door to door with the census. So all the events, all the activities was coming out of the pockets of the members
Okay.
and the founder, right? So in order to grow and have more impact, we had to have a fundraiser, right?
Yes.
So we thought, how do we do it where we don't spend a lot of money putting it on? So we thought, let's do a digital fundraiser, right?
Okay.
And so we were able to start a GoFundMe page, which is GoFundMe.com, and just search for Las Damas de Belmont Cragin, and please donate. And we decided to kind of have it run up to an International Women's Day on March 8th.
Oh.
So we launched it February 9th, and so that's 6 weeks of campaign time.
Yes.
Our goal is to raise $5,000.
Okay.
And we are at $1,250 right now.
yay!
So thank you all for
Yes,
donating.
thank you
Yes.
very much.
And keep them coming. We have individuals donating, small businesses donating, and I can list off some of the business. Is that okay?
Yeah.
To list off some of these small businesses, including Natalie Garcia Perez Photography. I want to start with
Yes.
her because she's a Las Damas member.
She
Wonderful.
I also want to start off with Diana Morado, State Farm,
Yay.
because she is a Las
Nice.
Damas member. And also Hector Fabregas, State Farm. And these are all local.
He's my agent.
These,
There you go.
these are all local businesses
Yes.
supporting our fundraiser. And forgive me if I don't mention everyone, but Sabaro Pizza on Fullerton.
Melissa.
And also, let's see.
Hangry's Victor and
Hangry's,
Serge.
oh my God. Hangry's on Fullerton. We've got so many businesses I want to shout out for contributing.
Yes.
And also alderperson, I should say, Ruth Cruz
Yes.
of the 30th Ward. Is that right?
Alderwoman Ruth Cruz from the 30th
30th.
Ward. Jessica Fuentes,
Jessica
alderperson.
Fuentes.
Jessie Fuentes
Yes.
from the 26th.
Yes.
She's my alderperson.
26th Ward, showing up.
Felix Cardona.
Felix Cardona,
Yes,
there we
31st
go.
Ward.
Okay.
He was the supporter for us when we were asking for a literacy program, those
Yeah.
laptops and so forth.
Yeah.
Yes. He signed our petition.
So we're really excited to have the local businesses and elected officials really behind us in this.
Yes.
Because, we can't do it alone, and we can't
No.
do it with just money out of our pocket, because that's unsustainable, and then that also hinders us from reaching more families and more children and more women every year. So that's why we're doing this fundraiser. And if you want, again, to donate, you just go to GoFundMe.com and search for Las Damas de Belmont Cragin.
And
Yeah.
what is the website?
The website is lasdamasbc.org.
BC for Belmont Cragin.
Yes.
C for Belmont Cragin.
.org. O-R-G.
Right.
And then there are some social media pages.
Yeah, we have
Instagram.
Instagram, we have TikTok. There's a Facebook group page,
Okay.
and so yeah,
Okay. So Las Damas on those social media pages.
right. The Instagram is Las_Damas_de_Belmont_Cragin.
Okay. Okay. Fantastic.
Because I think there's another group called Las Damas on
Okay.
social media, so it has to be Las Damas de Belmont
Okay,
Cragin.
but the easiest way to donate is to go to the GoFundMe page.
It is.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
and it's on my page because I know I shared it.
Yes.
Thank you so much.
So Dalia the Realtor, my Facebook page. But yes, get in and get those donations in because the goal is to get to raise $5,000 by March 8th,
So we're-
International
yes.
Women's Day.
Yes.
Okay, fantastic.
Yes.
And the funds for this fundraiser are specifically for the programs that you have coming up?
Yes, everything
Yes.
Diana mentioned, we're doing in 2024.
Okay.
So all of those funds are going to be funneled into our activities this year.
Well,
Yeah.
we're running out of time, but
Okay.
I want to make sure that we just go over real quickly.
Yeah.
Make sure that we went over some of the programs. Was there anything else in the programs that we wanted to mention?
There's
Yeah, go ahead.
the book fair that we'll be
Yes.
doing. So when we do story time this year, we've added a book fair.
Okay.
So children, after they've completed their little sessions of story time,
Yeah.
there's a grouping of 4. We send them in blocks of 4. They will be able to go select their own books for free to take home,
Oh,
read at their
nice.
leisure.
Bilingual.
Beautiful.
Bilingual.
Beautiful.
Yes.
Yes.
Awesome. What else would you like to share before we wrap up the show?
I would like to share a big thank you to you, Dalia, because
Oh,
this is a
thank
great
you.
opportunity to spread the word. Because not everybody knows Las Damas de Belmont Cragin, so this is a great way to not only raise awareness, but help us raise those funds. So
Well,
thank
I had heard about Las Damas, but I don't recall meeting you. And I know I would have known if I knew you. So I'm so happy to meet you, Diana. And,
My pleasure,
And
Dalia.
thank you so much for being here and for all the work you've already done in the past years already in the community. And I would love to have you back on the show to talk about more about Las Damas, more about your story, and just to kind of give us, give the listeners some more things to learn on those programs that are so vital to the Belmont Cragin community.
Yes, thank you. I'd be very happy to come back. Very happy to come back.
Wonderful. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, I appreciate
Thank
it.
you for donating.
Yes, thank you.
All right, don't forget, go on to the GoFundMe page. Again, what's the name? What's the page?
What's Las Damas de Belmont Cragin?
Las
If you search for
Damas
that.
Women of
Belmont
Impact.
Cragin. Women of Impact.
Yes.
So you can give, donate. Thank you ahead of time for donating to this important organization. And thank you, ladies, for being here.
Yes.
Thank you.
You're very
Thank you so
welcome.
much.
Hey, thank you so much for listening today. If you're watching on YouTube, please subscribe so you can keep up with my latest episodes. You can find me on all social media platforms at Dalia the Realtor. To reach me directly, call me at 773-879-4855. I'll see you on the next episode. Make it a great day.